Shalom, it's Alizah with Marashali Village, and today I am shooting this video to answer the question, what is the difference in the canonization of the Christian Bible and the Hebrew Scriptures? Earlier this week during class, we were doing Bible drills, and all the students have a TaNaK, and that's an acronym, and that's what I'm going to go over. And so they have learned the books of the Bible both ways, the canonization in the Christian Bible, just because it's really, really popular, and the canonization in the Hebrew Scriptures. But I am teaching this class across many cities and states in the U.S. with lots of homeschooling families who wanted to join me. So lots of times I get questions from students who may not be as familiar with the Hebrew Scriptures, and I have to answer them and give them some background. And so I figured I would do a video about it because I get this question a lot. So we do Bible drills, and they stand up and they repeat from Bereshit or Genesis into Malachi. Now, one of my students was like, wait, that sounds the same but a little bit different. And I'm going to explain why. So the first thing that I want to do is go over what the TaNaK means. And so I'm going to use the board to do that. So you see the uppercase T, the uppercase N, the uppercase K, but Hebrew is not written in English. So I'm going to write the corresponding letter to pair with the sound that we would make in English. So the T here would be a tau. Some people say tav. The N here would be a noon. And the K here would be a chaf. In this case, it's going to be a final chaf. So I'm going to write it a little bit different. That's just a Hebrew language thing. Don't worry about that if you don't know what that means. So my tau here is the same sound that we make T in English. My noon here is the same sound we make for N in English. And my chaf here is not the same sound as we make in K, but it's the closest letter to get the sound out. All right, so TaNaK is an acronym. And so in Hebrew, you're going to have these small quotation marks to indicate that this word is an acronym and not a word, right? So now I know the tau stands for something, the noon stands for something, and the chaf stands for something, and it's not a word. The question is, what does it stand for, right? So our tau is going to stand for Torah, and this is the breakdown of, or the canonization, if you will, of the Hebrew Scriptures. All right, our noon is going to stand for Nevi'im. Oh, let me translate as I go, excuse me. So the Torah is going to be instructions. And sometimes it translates over as law, right? The noon is going to be Nevi'im. Noon. I think there's an olive in there somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Olives are sneaky because they don't make sounds lots of times. All right, so Nevi'im, prophets. And Ketuvim. Now the letter that I'm getting ready to write for Ketuvim is not going to match this letter, and it's because you write it differently when it's at the end. And that's just a grammar rule in Hebrew. Ketuvim. And that is writings. Okay, so the tau is short for Torah. The noon is short for Nevi'im. The quotation marks tells me it's an acronym, not a word. And the chaf stands for Ketuvim, which are writings. So back to the canonization. you are going to see that a Bible that just has the Hebrew scriptures, so not a complete 66 book, because that's going to have a Christian canonization. And I'm going to load up a picture of a cover of a Bible that I'm talking about. Instruction/law is going to appear first, right? And these are your first 5 books: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Then you're going to have your prophets mentioned, okay? So as soon as Deuteronomy is over, it's going to pick up Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, etc. Then you're going to have your writings, and it's going to pick up with Job, right? Job, Psalms, Proverbs, and so it's going to end at Song of Solomon, right? So we were doing Bible drills, and I was calling out, I think I called out a verse in Malachi, and you know, in the Christian scripture, it's the very last book in the Old Testament. So they quickly ran to the back and was like, "Where is it at?" And so I figured I would explain why it wouldn't be that way. Now, it is in this order in the Christian scripture Bible, the Christian Bible, not the Christian scriptures. Sorry. All right, so they have the law first, then they have the writings, then they have the prophets. Okay, so this is the difference in the canonization. The Hebrew Bible is going to have Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim. The Christian Bible is going to have the instructions, the writings, the prophets. Okay, and what ends up happening is we just put some small A sounds here. Sometimes you'll see an H there to indicate that it's going to be guttural. And it is TaNaK. TaNaK, an acronym for instructions, prophets, writings. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Shalom.